Welcome to another episode of Conscious Reconstruction. I'm the host with the most, aka Tony Melbourne, aka Mr. Mirror on the Wall, who's the prettiest of them all. Me, bitch. Aka, y'all ain't heard that in a while. I know because I ain't done it in a while, but I'm doing it now because I did it and I done it. Aka Mr. Thank you for sharing. That's my girlfriend now. I don't share though, so I just confiscated. Aka, I get job offers at the job in front of the managers. And I'd be like, yeah, I'm interested. Okay, stop playing with me.
Did you just want to listen to like 5 seconds of that song?
Yeah. Got me right in the mode. Hey, welcome. As you hear, Charles is here. Cantankerous as ever.
I'm not
We got Ash in the building. He's a liar.
I didn't come in expecting that. Oh, look, the refrigerator door is open.
That's see, look at him, cantankerous ass.
Oh, that's because y'all love ketchup.
Bruh, I ran out of ketchup and then I was at a restaurant and they had a little package. I said, you know what? I'm about to get me as many as I need so I can dip and throw this on a little Frenchy fry when I need it.
I thought you looked at me and it looked like you were about to say like steak or something. And I was going to look at you like, you're a murderer. You're a monster, Patrick Mahomes.
No.
Do you realize he puts ketchup on his damn near his entire Thanksgiving dinner? Like turkey, ham.
I told you I don't like him. So
I actually gave you a real reason to dislike something.
I don't like this nigga.
Yeah, like I feel like I told you I don't like him. So
I gave you an actual reason to dislike him. Anyone who actually puts ketchup on everything is not someone that you necessarily.
Now I do think that ketchup on a baked potato is fine. You don't put butter on it.
You know what?
You
guys are birds of a feather flock together.
No.
He probably hates you too.
Let me explain. You don't put any butter on it or anything like that.
You don't put any ketchup on it. What the fuck is you talking about? You've already violated.
Butter,
I have a
salt,
question.
Pepper.
You violated.
I have a question.
And you eat the skin too.
I have a question. You ever made homemade potatoes or French fries?
Mm-hmm.
So unless you have like a real fryer, the inside of them is kind of like a baked potato.
That won't happen if you do it inside of a way where you fry it once at a lower temperature and then you move it up and you fry it again. There's already a solution for that.
Yeah, I'm not saying that there's not a way to do it, but I'm saying most people don't do that. What I'm saying is most people eat it and have the baked potato inside and put ketchup on it still. So I don't understand how you niggas is acting like this is such a far out thing. But whatever. Y'all can suck dick.
I just literally told you how I make fries. I don't know about everyone else. At that point, I might as well make home fries.
Home fries are delicious.
Yeah, I'll put ketchup on those.
Those are home fries.
No, I don't put ketchup on my home fries.
You don't put... Yo, what? You don't put ketchup on home fries.
None of my breakfast food. Ketchup doesn't go on breakfast food. Ketchup does not go on breakfast food.
Potatoes, onions.
Y'all are disgusting.
You are fucking strange. You literally picking and choosing and then try to justify.
Y'all are like the ones that put ketchup on y'all fucking eggs.
You try to justify why the fuck you wouldn't put ketchup
You put ketchup on your eggs? You put ketchup on...
No, I don't put ketchup on my eggs.
Does anybody here eat their eggs over easy?
Like what is like the sunny side up?
No.
Yeah.
But no, y'all are weird.
Bacon or sausage?
You fucking weird. Don't sit there and make that fucking face. No, y'all are weird.
Yeah,
you brought this shit up and you know damn well that shit wasn't normal.
What I'm saying is I don't use... So ketchup
All right, Patty Mahomes.
Ketchup is a lunch.
No, condiments don't have limits.
Thing. You don't use ketchup for breakfast. That's so weird. You eat the home fries with some salt and pepper on them. They're nicely seasoned. And then you have the sweetness from the syrup that's with the pancakes or the French toast or the waffles, whatever sweet bread that you like with your meal. And then you have your breakfast meats.
That's part of your problem. You're eating double starches.
It don't matter how many starches this is. This nigga really turned his whole head.
No. Why is that a problem?
Double starches. You have like your filling part of your breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
You have like your meatier part of your breakfast. And you have like your fruit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how breakfast should generally be, because like double starch is like that's gonna accelerate your metabolism, and you're gonna be super starving by noon, and that's not the way I like to be. So, like, you got your starch thing, you got your meat thing, and you got your food thing. Like, I will never eat home fries and pancakes at the same time.
That's a lot. That shit don't even make you feel good.
Like, I will
Oh,
eat
I'm
home
sorry.
fried scrambled eggs and
I routinely order French toast, a French toast combo, which comes with bacon and eggs. I add a side of well done home fries, which well done hash browns. Home fries, same thing.
they are not.
They're not the same thing, but when
For all intents and purposes, for most people, they are.
yeah,
But it's just like they're not the same thing.
yeah, but that's why I said it that way, because like depending on who's listening, they'll be like, I understand what is that if you say one name and not the other
Because
one.
one's shredded, the other is
Yeah,
diced. You're cubed depending upon who you are.
yeah.
But, well, not even diced. Like, you cut them up into. I haven't had
Hey,
some home fried potatoes in a while.
You grade them. They're graded.
Yeah. Oh, home fries are.
Or cut them into little cubes things.
But hash browns are grated into water, and then making hash browns is way more difficult than anybody actually gives it credit for. Even though it's not difficult, it's tedious.
But
Well-
anyway, yeah, I get those well done and an extra side of bacon, and I eat all of that. Which fuck you, nigga? Pour that syrup on all of it.
I've also seen him order corned beef with that.
No. See, I did order corned beef with that. He did. Well, no. I didn't order that and corned beef. That's a lie. What I did was order a corned beef hamburger with French fries, a side of bacon, and French toast.
Oh,
There was no eggs or home fries in that equation.
he's not a person of half measures.
No, I told y'all I needed to eat more food.
So he forces himself to eat more food.
So I'm eating more.
He did that and then went and worked out too.
Yeah.
That was a more interesting thing. It's just like,
so I'm eating more.
I'm full.
Hey. I
What
like
if you weren't doing like core and if I just showed up and like, hey, today we're going to throw in a core day at the end of this. You're going to throw in a core day at the end
I'm
of
happy
this.
y'all were late because, well, not even late, but Ash said she was going to get here at 7:30. I'm happy she wasn't punctual because I was just hopping out the shower then and I got caught looking at myself. I was like, all right, yeah, I'm getting bigger. I got the little stomach area, but the abs are still there. Got to tone it up a little bit more, but I'm putting on weight like I wanted to. So I'm pretty happy with like what's going on.
Your 2,500 calorie lunches or dinners, because
I mean,
if you get that much in one, it makes it really easier for you to hit the rest of your goals, because you can be like, I'm going to eat a peanut butter sandwich.
I usually start off with breakfast like that. I usually try to start the day off heavy.
Nope. If I start the day off with a bunch of calories, it's going to throw off the rest of my day.
Why?
Because my margin for error for the rest of the day is lower. I'm not trying to bulk. I'm trying to lose.
Oh, see, I don't like have any like real like eating habits, so it's easier for me to forget to eat. Like I didn't eat this morning because I couldn't figure out what I wanted to eat, and I was like, it's 10. I'm probably not going to think about eating again till 3 o'clock. And so I was up at 7 and went from probably 7 to 3. Didn't eat anything.
Oatmeal or cereal.
No.
I start generally every day. Won't eat grits.
I don't want to eat in the morning. Something about that shit is making me feel like when I started doing it, when I was working out, it made me feel like shit. And I was like, nope, don't want to juice no more.
You should work out and then eat.
Work out, then eat?
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that. I can eat like small things like fruit or something, but if I work out and don't eat, I'll get nauseous. So I can't eat like a whole sandwich or like a breakfast
Yeah, that's
in the morning.
for
But I
you
can
is
eat small things.
just not going to work unless you wake up super early, go work out, come home, chill for a bit, and then eat.
You know, if I don't have nothing on my stomach, I get sick. And I get dizzy. And I tried this before and then I understood what the fuck was going on. I'm like, oh. I
Okay,
didn't
well,
eat
yeah, no.
anything.
See, I normally, like if I work out in the morning, I do it before I eat. But that's just because that's how we did it in the Air Force. Like you would wake up and then go work out. And then now you're starving and then you go eat and
Yeah.
recovery. I also stopped doing dairy. Well, for the most part, like I had a milkshake today, but it's the first milkshake I had in like maybe 3 weeks.
I
You don't have to get rid of dairy
cheese.
entirely. You just have to intersperse it judiciously.
No, I cut back on a lot of cheese. It just wasn't hitting as right anymore. I'm like, I don't want all this bullshit. The fuck?
Like,
and then I just kind of cut back a
Outside
lot.
of anything I don't really need or really want to have cheese on, I just don't do it normally.
I gotta
Ordinary.
delete the Burger King app off my phone
The fact that
Rodeo
you had the
Burgers is
Burger
fucking
King
you up.
app,
because it's bruh. It's
Yeah, that
Let me
nigga's
explain.
jam.
you
So-
allowed the Burger King app to send you alerts.
no, it doesn't send me alerts.
Okay.
But let me explain how life goes. It's like I can get. They
That's
got
funny.
this little thing where it's like rewards, and I don't really be caring about that because I only spend like $2, $3 anytime I go. But they got these thing called like special offers. They usually have like $1 large fry, so I'll grab that and then 2 rodeo burgers. I spent $3. You know I don't like, and so I have to get over this. I'm not cheap because y'all know how I spend money. But what I am is very judicious about where that money goes. I hate spending money on food. It irks the fuck out of me to spend like a significant amount of money on food. Like when I spend more than $20 to eat somewhere, I'm like, what the fuck?
Mhm.
Why did I come here? Like when I was online looking at like getting Five Guys and it kept being $13, I was like, I might as well just go to Burger King. And I'm like, bro, you gotta be a better, more
Well,
responsible
that's not
person.
like a might as well. If you say, okay, this is $13, I might as well go get my own ground hamburger and do it myself. Reasonable.
No, the
Might as
ground
well
beef
go to
is
Burger
no,
King.
the
It's
ground
just-
beef is gonna be more expensive too.
No, I love spending money on food. That is
Ground
my
chuck?
jam.
I must buy the ground chuck,
Yeah.
but then I also needed to buy the buns
Okay, that's like $2, $3.
and the hamburgers. Meat is what, $5? Let's say $4 to $5. That's
Yeah, depending
$8.
upon how much you buy.
I spent $8 and all I got is bread and meat. I spent $3. I got 2 sandwiches. I got onion rings on them, barbecue sauce, and fries, nigga. Fuck is you talking about? Yeah, you see how my brain works? This is why it's a problem. I
I don't-
recognize that it's not intelligent. I recognize that, hey, no.
It's just like, I
You
just look
need
at one,
to-
it's just like, now I have 12 hamburgers as a,
No. I also don't like cooking here.
yeah,
Like-
we've been over that a few times.
I like cooking when they weren't here. I cooked all the time. Like I was always cooking.
Way easier for you to keep on your diet than
Yeah.
that point in time. You were like, what'd you do? I went home, I cooked,
Yeah, bro.
did this, did that.
Don't
Now
mind
it's-
cooking at all when it's just me. But
Yeah,
when
when we
it's,
got other people in the house, yo, I hate that shit. That's why I started cooking less. Like, I got the wiggle room now to go out and eat more often, but that's also not good for my body or good for my wallet. But
Yeah,
I
that's
also
what I'm
understand
like.
it feel like a full house and they all over you asking you dumbass questions. And
Or
especially
like-
like my dad sits in the living room and like he had a weird thing about like food growing up. So like you couldn't really touch anything without him just being like, what you doing in there? Like, it's so weird and it makes me so fucking paranoid. And it's not my kitchen, so it feel like I'm just kind of invading in their space.
my grandmother
weird.
starts cooking every time I start cooking. I'll be in
Really?
the kitchen and start cooking and doing stuff, and then maybe I'm halfway through, and now she's in the kitchen cooking stuff. Why the fuck
Why
do you
now?
keep coming in here every
No,
time I
I
start
just
cooking?
grew up with my
Like
dad.
15
just
more
like,
minutes.
I didn't know if I was going to be in your way. I get out your way. And then she continues to do her thing and be in my way. Motherfucker.
Man.
I want to trip you. 'Cause you
Take this peanut butter and mayo and get out of here.
No, she'll start actually like cooking and like using the stuff. Bitch, let's say I've finished using like half of the stove and I'm basically like wrapping up and about to start like
Cleaning.
moving things over and like start like building a plate and things. And like there's one last thing that I have to do. She's like, well, I'm going to use this other eye that's open now. And I'm going to be in the corner that you normally in next to the stove where you would build your plate and everything like that.
Man.
Why are you in the way? Please, but just explain to me why you thought that this was a good time to come in the
Why
kitchen.
right
Because
now?
you were in there in the living room sitting down watching TV. I was in the kitchen cooking.
It's 2 p.m. Why are you doing this?
What is, bruh, anytime I cook, it's now her time to cook, and I just don't understand it. It's,
Have you tried cooking at different times?
bruh, I don't cook at, we know how, when I was off, I would just cook it all the times. Like, I would just get up and like, I'd make breakfast, or I'd just, especially if I was making breakfast. And I get up at different times, and she just started making, like, I don't know if it was the smell of food, be like, oh, now I'm hungry, I'm gonna start making me something. You can't wait
You've
10
been up
minutes.
since the crack of dawn.
Bruh, she been up all day. You been up before me, and now why are you making breakfast when I'm making breakfast? I wake up and start cooking breakfast. You woke up and sat on the couch this morning.
And then you come over and be like,
And now you
it's time to make my cream of wheat.
breakfast.
Nah, like I said, we just had a real dynamic with food growing up. And it was always comments being made about food. Like you couldn't get it. It was just strange. And it always bring up that little kid in me that's just like, should I be eating? Like, it's just
Oh
weird.
no, see, I
fucking
never
hate
had
it.
to deal with that. Like that would be
it
terrible.
It's definitely like a paranoid feeling. Like I'm waiting for him to not be somewhere close. I don't like it. So I'm just like, well,
I think
Well, he
my
got the
grandmother-
results that he was looking for.
My grandmother used to force my mother to eat, but I think that probably had something to do with like food shortage and things like that. And like you don't waste anything.
Yeah.
But my mother was never like that. And then my grandmother wasn't really like that with us as grandchildren or anything. Like she didn't really like trip all like that. So maybe she like evolved out of it. Or
Oh. All right. One grandmother, if I ate, you had to eat everything. So therefore, it's just like once it's on your plate, you were responsible for what is on your plate.
Mm-hmm.
Once it's there, there's no opting out. So you're always better off getting less and then circling back around, as opposed to getting a bunch and then being like, I don't want the rest of this. Cause, yo, the other caveat about that, no drinks until you finish eating.
what is it? I used to hear about that, and I always thought, what kind of slavery is this?
You can't fill up on liquids. Nope.
This is
No,
not
I
how
never
this is
had that.
working.
There's certain things that I fucking loathe that she used to make me eat, like macaroni salads. Like, this isn't even good for me.
Nah, see, that's just crazy.
That's
Like,
the more
I need my
upsetting
drinks.
things.
I have to drink something like I'll finish my whole drink or like 3/4 of it before I get through half my plate, and then I'm like, all right, now I'm sipping and things, but like I need a good like quelching of my thirst while I'm eating to have an enjoyable meal. Like y'all know I like to eat and drink at the same time. That's my shit. Like doing them simultaneously, not one and then the other. Like I had to do that in the Air Force. It's an awkward thing. Like eat all your food, then you drink your drinks, and then you get out. No, nigga. I'm trying to have a leisurely meal. I'm gonna sip, I'm gonna eat, and I'm gonna speak to other people. How about that?
Oh,
Sounds like you got to be quiet.
I'm only
going
going to talk to other people while I eat, while I'm actually, when that is the purpose of me eating. Otherwise, so how was your day? You had like 12 hours to ask this. Why now? Well, you're sitting in front of me. So that means this is small talk. Me don't really like small talk.
I don't care about
Um,
small talk. It's just when I don't want to talk, seeing the part where they just stand there and talk over you. I'm just like, I
Okay.
don't want to do this. Like sometimes I'll be like, hey, what's going on? I'm engaged. But sometimes it's just like, hey, you ain't got nothing coming out your face that I care about at this particular moment. It don't happen often. But when it do, I'll be like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, I just don't be listening to everybody.
I don't. I got this tool that I learned how to develop, which was zone the fuck out when people start talking or anything. I don't know when I start doing this, but it's bad because sometimes it happens when I don't want to. But I started learning how to like tune people out. I don't know when. Like I really be like, I don't know what the fuck you just said for the past 5 minutes, but you said it, and now we here. I don't know when I started doing it. I just tell myself, no, I'm not gonna listen to this anymore.
I don't know why people just walk up to me and just start saying things.
It mostly happened like me and my mom. I'm taking her shopping or something, and then she gets to start talking about something. I'm like, I don't care no more.
Oh, I don't
I
really do.
quit, and then I go into my imagination while I'm driving.
It's like there's certain things I don't listen to people on. Like I'll listen to my one grandmother about politics. I don't listen to my mother about this. Saving, I kind of learn from my mother, but there's certain things that I don't necessarily take from my mother because when you talk about God has like determined me to do such and such and such and such, and when I ask you for like other justifications for it, and it's just all relies on God, it's just like that's not good enough reason for me to do this.
It's usually if I hear the same thing over and over again. You start bitching about the same shit.
Like, you should make a biblical video game. Why? God just touched it on my... No,
Yeah, let's make a biblical video game. I agree with this one.
not interested. It's like, people will buy it. Yeah, people say they'll buy it. People can buy anything. Will
You know how
they
much them
actually do
Christians
it?
Pay? Them Christians would play for some nice heavenly, like he can have like a rainbow sword or something.
No, motherfucker. If I'm gonna make an accurate biblical video game, it's gonna be accurate. And then
You can have dragons like they do in Revelations.
no, it's not that, motherfucker. I'm gonna be the bear inside of one of the books of the Bible that one of the disciples of God prayed for a bear to come down and maul the children, and you gonna be the bear mauling the children.
Let's go. I'm trying to get this Christian money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm trying to serve the Lord any way possible that I can.
Oh,
Speaking of the Lord, I wanted to send a rest in peace to Virgil Abloh, who passed away, 41, I believe, of cancer. No one knew. Felt cancer, for real.
fuck them mutated cells that mutated wrong.
Yeah, cancer is just a terrible thing. It just be popping up out of nowhere for everybody.
Yeah.
I didn't know where everybody, man. That would
Well-
hit me. I'm like, what? At first I thought it was a joke, and then you start seeing it down the reseller sneakers timeline. You be like, oh, this one's real, guys.
Well, I mean, that's the biggest issue when it comes to... That is probably the largest disadvantageous thing about the current setup for a lot of African-American households, and not necessarily knowing one parent, depending upon who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't know what type of risk that you're actually at for a lot of these things, because half of your genealogy you're just not involved with. So it's just like one side of your family can be fine, and you, like, your mom's side is just like, oh, there's not too much of a problem. Dad's side is just like, oh, my daddy died of prostate cancer. His daddy didn't die, but his father before him died, and your uncle died of it.
Mm.
But you don't know, because it's just kind of like over there. So it means you pretty much got like this grenade out there looming that could possibly trickle down and be like, he just had cancer and didn't know.
Well, all I know is just watching his work and how he changed the landscape of fashion, him and other artists, but looking at his work and having that opportunity to really change the game is something that I kind of really admired, and I'm really sad to see go. So
I do not look forward to getting prostate checks. That's just one of those
Nigga.
things. It's just like, ever since the time I think about
Charles
it, it's just like,
this shit real quick. He said,
real fast, I don't want fingers in my ass when I get older.
you don't
We
have to get a
understand.
finger in your ass. There's a
don't?
blood test that you can take.
Oh, for real?
Mhm.
Would you?
I prefer not to get stabbed either, but
I
I
don't
guess
know.
this is the
I don't know what to tell you.
This is just one of those things. It's just like, you want this or you want that. This will cost less than that. But the cost, just stab me.
Yo, so if anybody interested, John Mulaney got a real cool skit on getting his prostate exam, which is the funniest shit in the fucking world. If y'all interested in watching that, just look up John Mulaney prostate exam. That's a good time. It's a good fucking 10 minutes. I recommend everybody watching that one.
A doctor sticking his finger in your bum is no fun.
Yo, it's funny the way this nigga said. He said, I let out the sound. It sounded like a ghost escaped my mouth. It's funny as fuck.
No, I was very unhappy when it happened to me.
Look at this nigga traumatized.
Because it wasn't even for like a prostate.
No.
No, like,
Oh, it's like you taking your dog in and then them listing him for like getting neutered when he was not there for that.
bruh, like, I went in for like pain in like my thigh, not even thigh, but like my groin area.
Oh, it's all connected.
This nigga was like, you might have like a hemorrhoid or something. And so I gotta stick my finger in your ass.
Probably not that. Probably just not defined in a more
A much more eloquent
doctor.
way, but
I have to.
what he
I have to
said
do
to
a
me,
rectal examination.
Yeah, but
For what?
to check for the hemorrhoid and see if
Oh. Wait a minute. It's in your... Man.
that's where your hemorrhoids are in your ass.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I knew... Oh, wait. No, it doesn't make sense.
Oh, it could have been a hemorrhoid. Could have been a kidney stone. Could have been.
It could have been a whole lot of things, and this nigga directly was
Well,
like...
he knew it wasn't like a kidney stone because it wasn't like urination. It was like movement and like
You know, those are just
and
stomach issues.
the way that I had happened to like discover the pain or have the pain happen. Also looking for a hernia. That's what he was checking for.
Siemens furniture.
Yeah, checking to see if I had a hernia. It was so terrible. I had to pull a muscle. I pulled my groin.
Oh,
that's what it was. That's the first time I pulled my groin.
I've never pulled my groin, actually. I'm lucky about that. Pulled both hamstrings.
I never did any of that, but I pulled my groin when I was 18 or 19.
Yeah, that's no good. That's like one of the worst things ever.
It was terrible.
All the nerves. It's just like, I've seen people be like, what'd you do? I pulled my groin.
It wasn't super
I'm taking 2 a leave bi-hourly.
It wasn't super severe, but it was like when I would walk, I couldn't run, I couldn't fuck. Yeah, that's how I pulled it. Having sex, pull my groin. It was like, oh, I'm in pain. What is going on?
Now you got to stretch out beforehand,
bro. That was the worst thing. I had never nigga. I'm 19 years old.
I don't know how
my groin.
awkward that would terribly be. Like, what you about to do? All right, we about to smash.
No,
what are you doing? Stretching.
Nah, I just kind of continued on with life. It was just like a freak thing. I don't know. I don't even know how it happened. Like, it was doing regular things that I thought, and I don't even, yeah, but pull my groin. It was terrible. But I do want to talk about another rest in peace. Let me get, because I don't want to just call her Miss Shabazz because that's weird. I know it, yeah. So rest in peace to Malika Shabazz, the daughter of Malcolm X. She passed away in her home. And I wanted to bring this one up because she passed away 4 days after working to disprove that the 2 men accused of assassinating her father really did it. And so she disproved that, and they were actually released from prison and adjudicated that it wasn't them, which, I mean, or exonerated, which isn't whoop-de-fucking-do. You took decades of our lives, because this was 66. And
at this point, you're suing the hell out of the justice system.
Yeah, I mean, still,
you're never going to get complete total compensation, because it's just like, how much is time actually valued at? You're never really going to get enough. They're going to be like, well...
Because shit, depending on how old they are, that's 40 years, takes you to 2006. Add another 15, that's 55 years. Nigga, you could have went in at 18. You 73.
Yeah.
It don't matter. You can't give me. There's no amount of money.
There's nothing you could really do for real.
Yeah, it's just like no. It's
here's $5 million. We're sorry.
No. I need 100 million, but also I'm still not gonna be able to do nothing with this. Like, I didn't even have a chance to like build a family, have a life. Like, you took my life away.
You should have been so suspect. Anyway, also, that's the way the government works.
Yeah, so the FBI was proved to have framed these people, and she was, Malika Shabazz was one of the spearhead people in working towards like proving these men's innocence. And then 4 days later, she's found dead in her home from, the coroner said no foul play and food poisoning. And I'm like, I don't know how much I trust the state coroner on this. Like, she was 56. Because she was born in 1965. Yep, 56.
I think they said that it was like, do anybody ever agree on if it, or allegedly was the people in the Muslim, I don't know what the fuck they call it, or the government. But now she proved that.
Yeah.
Well, she proved that it wasn't them.
Yeah, she proved it
Now,
was.
the other issue with that is now she has to
whodunit.
she has to conclusively prove that it was the FBI, but she did.
Oh no, she did. That's what she did.
Submitted sufficient proof.
Oh,
No. What she did was prove that it was the FBI and not these niggas.
that's crazy.
And that
then now
they
she's
were
just,
lied about it and like falsely like pointing at them. And then, yeah, now she passed away. I just think that's really weird timing.
They still bumping people off. I forgot who. Damn, there was this dude. This was a while ago, and this story is just not about to piece together anything, because I don't know no specific information. But anyway, this guy was in the middle of somewhere in Africa trying to bring awareness to what this one African leader was doing, and then I think like he was going hard at it. It was celebrities was involved with it and everything. And then one week he was just cuckoo as fuck on the corner of wherever, butt ass naked. And then we never heard anything from this man ever again. None about his charity work and what he was doing, because everybody just written him off as a cuckoo man. And I was just like,
That's what
they still.
Dave Chappelle told you. What the first thing they do is make you seem crazy. Because if you get labeled crazy, people don't listen to you. People don't believe it. People devalue you. Oh, he's crazy. Don't know what he's talking about. There's no value in that. Shit. What was that?
I think Jordan Peterson might have had a case of that shit too, because I think his wife was going through like crazy bouts of cancer, and then not one day, he was already taking anxiety pills for it, and he was like, "Well, I don't understand how I've gotten dependent on this particular anxiety medicine because I already know the risks and everything." And then he ended up almost dying from that one. And people were like, "What do you think he was almost trying to get bumped off?" He was like, "Yeah, I got more than enough reason for it." You know, it's like a real reason, but generally, if you are a threat to some agenda, it's more than enough. I'm like, damn. Because that was pretty shocking when he actually went to the doctor.
Do you know who Alpo is?
Alpo?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I heard
The
the name
food?
before. Not
No.
the dog food.
No, Alpo is a big time gangster in Harlem.
Oh,
What about him?
They've been trying to get him to go into witness protection. He had been saying nah. Then he went to Harlem, supposedly died. But like, you know how like when someone gets killed and everything, like you'll see pictures of like the blood stains and like the body if they can catch a snap of it and shit like that. Like you're gonna be able to see like the graphic details. There was only pictures of like the shot up glass and things like that. No body. Then there's like no announcement of like a funeral or wake or a visitation or any of those other things. It was just like kind of like quietly swept away. And it's like, I think this nigga just like decided to disappear. I don't know. It's just a lot of just weird things have been happening in the last like 3-4 months.
Like he just wanted to witness protection.
Yeah, but why would you go through all that? Why would you just...
Why would you like for decades and decades, like he's not a new like big crime boss. Like he been like Alpo's from like the 80s era. And so he was like, no. So for you to be like, no,
Like during
forever.
that entire Bumpy Wilson thing and all that other stuff, like back in the day when pretty much where Frank Lucas and a lot of those dudes pretty much cut their teeth.
Yeah, but it's just like, why would you choose to go into witness protection now?
There's some amount
42 years later.
after you like pretty much sold everybody that you were gonna sell at the river and they're all dead.
He been did that and then came out and told them no, he's not going into witness protection. It's been living his life. So, because it's not like he just like got free. So it's like, why would you choose now?
It's either that or they didn't want, or the I don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah, that's what I said. Just
It's like the possibility of him existing doesn't really create that many problems, or he faked his own death.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of weird stuff.
But that doesn't make any sense because the FBI would be like, you're not really dead though. Or maybe they wouldn't do that because they don't want to lose track of a witness like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because God only knows how much interference the FBI or other law enforcement agents are actually doing to keep him alive. Because gangsters tend to hold grudges unless there's some really a medical reason why they shouldn't.
Should I read this now?
You can. It was just it was the letter that the lady gave me when she offered me the job. It's a handwritten note.
Oh, but
you can read it as well. But
you just handed off a note.
Because I saw it, I was
I'm like, nigga.
Like we both looked at you like, what are you doing?
Oh, I just saw it and I was like, this is hilarious.
Like, hey Ash, how do you feel about nigga? I'm right next to you. I thought this was addressed to me.
Not at all.
Like y'all out here passing notes.
No, I think
Couch Crew is getting real out of pocket over there.
I was going to send it to you too because I think it's hilarious. But we can go on to my next topic since I just think a lot of weird stuff is happening. I don't got a lot of answers. Like, I don't got a lot of answers.
I mean, the weird thing is, it's just like everybody would probably prefer her just be alive for a longer period of time. Because apparently, I don't know how I missed this entire thing happening with this woman, but it just pretty much did. Like, I saw it and then she died. I saw that she died. That was
terrible.
I missed the entire FBI thing, but there are like White House press releases about this. Yeah. So it's just like, oh, this was a whole big deal for everyone.
Yeah, no, this wasn't small. This was a big thing.
Like there was a 22-month investigation into this by the like New York District Attorney. They came up apparently I guess you can't really hold too many people responsible now because it's been 55 years.
Yeah, no, it's like everybody who would have done it. So the
40-year-olds who probably did this, who withheld, from what I actually saw, they withheld documentation that pretty much clearly exonerated these dudes, and it's just like, nah, dude, somebody got to go to jail for this.
Yeah, so they're like, well, or you got to die.
And I can almost understand the mentality of them saying so because they saw what happened when MLK died. I think at that point.
Well, all I know is that family got justice, and ain't that crazy how things that you think could go in the dark will always come to light. Always. I don't give a fuck who you think you are. I forgot what book I said. Read that in. The truth, and for every lie that is told, incurs a debt to the truth, and that debt must be paid. So
nobody pay that debt now.
I don't believe that.
It don't matter. It came to light.
I believe the truth will come to light if people are looking for it. I feel like things done in the dark with more than one person will always come to the light.
Because this is probably, we all know for the most, New York and Chicago and nauseum are considered to be two of the more quote unquote dirty police organizations at nauseum, because there was a point in time that pretty much
with something like that, you got to involve too many people, and then now you're dependent on all of their morals and character to stay aligned with this one lie.
Charles floating around,
and Charles could have been like, "Nah, they did this, and now it's coming to the light because shit like that you can't do by yourself realistically, You not
requires
as an agent, you're not gonna have all the access to all the files and just be yanking shit out by yourself. You got to involve other people, and now you've just gotta hope that these niggas is just down for the cause like you. Yeah.
And the problem is, it's just idealistically, you're working within an organization for people who do want to withhold laws or uphold laws. Ideally. So your concept of there not being some random goody two-shoes who just kind of wanders along and it's just yo, what are y'all doing?
Yeah, you got to be real worried about it's. So no, I'm happy that it did come to light. I'm sad that she passed away 4 days after doing all of this work and really being a champion for this and proving that, hey, y'all are some fucked up people.
Well, it takes a really big person to go in there and listen to the people who supposedly killed your father and be like, you know what? I believe y'all.
Yeah.
Because you look at me and said, I really didn't kill your dad. You a fucking liar.
And realistically killed my father the year I was born. So I didn't even get to know this man because of supposedly y'all. Like the level of hate that I could have for y'all, and then I go in there and like,
I actually hear you out.
nah, this is some fuck shit, and then work to like prove it. That's a different level of like commitment. So disappointed that
And the fact that for the most part, the entire African American community kind of supported it, and depending upon who you are, they use it as an excuse to as an indict on Islam ad nauseum, because of the fact that it's just like, oh, well, they leadership is the people who killed Malcolm X. Why would you want? They don't even know how to handle they don't know how to deal with their own people.
and now it's not true.
Yep, and now it's ubiquitously just not true. It is just like, well, damage is done now.
Yeah, I mean, but that was probably the point, to allow just destruction and separation and internal conflict. I feel like Martin Luther King apologized to us and said that he led us astray. Most people don't know that. But all of the like end segregation stuff and things like that, he apologized for. I think that what he realized then is what we're seeing play out now. Is once we were inside of a pond that has hostile actors all around us, all they do is work to create division amongst ourselves and then allow us to do the rest, because we're just like, we'll detract from the Nation of Islam, which I think probably has some good characteristics. I can say that they tried to recruit me. My mother wasn't for it, but I don't know exactly why. I don't know if that's because of the things that she heard. But I can't say it would have been the best for me, but I can't say that it would have been the worst either.
But there's also like there's a lot of baggage that now comes with that at nauseam because of this happening.
Yeah, because of this. And so it's just like that level of like destruction inside of our community is something that I look at. It's like, I get why Dr. Martin Luther King was apologetic. It's like, I led y'all to this point where y'all believe that we need to be one with everyone, and that's the way to do this. And with my real message of economic empowerment and not this shit didn't really get set off, because as soon as I started talking about that and apologizing for leading y'all astray, I got killed. So the only thing that we really know is like, oh, he was all about this. And no.
There was another phase.
There was an evolution of him that
it's just like,
was completely opposite of that.
Now that we have this level of mobility, now we remove our we need to become more financially independent. Whoa.
Well, not even that we have this level of mobility. Now that we're moving towards desegregation, hey, this is a bad decision. I led y'all astray. I fucked up. I thought that desegregation was the answer, and then we would get what they got. I'm seeing it. They're not going to give us that regardless of where we at. This is wrong. We need to just build up our communities. And then they said, no, fuck you. We're going with desegregation. You got to go. And then...
Well, they weren't going with desegregation at that point.
I mean, at that point, after they killed him, they went with that because it was easier to appease us. Gave us desegregation because that's what
there was a large financial ramification of them killing him. It was just like, like, this is very, very costly. How long have they been riding it for? 3 days. Like 3 days of nonstop riots, 3 days of nonstop riots. And they started to hit like white people neighborhoods too. Burn it all down. We need something.
No, I think that they allowed us to get it out what they wanted as much as they were willing to allow. And then they came in and said, all right, we'll give y'all some desegregation initiatives and things like that. And that placated us. But none of that was realistically what King wanted at the end of his life. He wanted us to be focused on economics. And that was no longer what we were focused on. We never moved into that phase because we just stayed with, we need to like integrate. And then it became a lot of like respectability politics. And, you need to speak a certain way and cut your hair and your hair can't be too long or it can't be in its natural state. Like all of those things are like frowned upon. So yeah.
I think they was always frowned upon. I was reading Thomas Sowell's book and he was talking about, I think it's red, white, was it black rednecks and white liberal? I forget the name of it. But he was talking about how the ghetto culture that we know today was actually from like European Scotsmen at the time when they came over. And so it was always like a group of...
There's always a group that's kind of suppressed and quote unquote downtrodden.
Always trying to... No, it was a group that was always trying to civilize these white slaves into not teaching this culture that we know today as ghetto culture. So the culture that we have today is actually not ours. It's actually been pretty opposite. And that's something that they really don't tell us about. It's how to get by, to be honest with you. And it's always been something that's been around. So I would say like it is a pattern of no matter what we look like, if you want to do your hair natural or straight or anything like that, it is a pattern of we try to get together and get our own shit together. They want to deter us instead of an I thing. They're always trying to switch it to a we thing, which is strange, but I'm pretty sure that has its own negative connotations to it. Or like, not the word, what's I'm looking for when you don't, not heinous.
No, I mean, I kind of understand that because being black is like a group project.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you're bad, then
it reflects badly.
That reflects badly on all blacks. Like you can see it like, or when you're good though, it also reflects good on all others. Like you can see that in media. Like when Issa Rae hit it out the park with Awkward Black Girl that transitioned into Insecure. You saw a lot more black entertainers moving into the space. Black directors, or with Shonda Rhimes also, like when she did The Shy, I believe Shonda Rhimes in The Shy.
Shonda Rhimes?
Oh no, Lena Waithe is The Shy. Lena Waithe
Shonda
did The Shy.
Rhimes pretty much ran all of ABC for a point of time with Grid.
Yeah, so when you saw that, they started allowing a lot of like more black creatives and writers and directors.
They ain't really got nothing more else to give in these arenas anymore. If you actually pay attention, like I'm gonna take it back to Virgil Abloh actually. His menswear collection is outstanding. But then you look at the women's, it's like, ain't nothing over here to really be excited about. It's nothing really challenging. The clothes, I mean, they look regular, I guess what you would pay for at that luxury price point. But if you look at the creativity that was going on over there, and not even that, the cuts and fits was so much interesting. They got this fucking big ass trench coat with like airplane buttons that I really would love to own. They don't have much of
women's high fashion just looks weird to me because it doesn't.
It depends on the designer, but I'm just comparing and contrasting between just what I see at Louis Vuitton and trying to figure the bigger point is that they don't have nothing else now. So who else would you get a world stage to? Back to the niggas that originally and will always own it. They don't have nothing. Now, think about like when we was in school before this like culture actually exploded. Think about how many white boys you knew that was wearing for real like for real Air Forces and shit like that. That shit was unheard of. They was still rocking Skechers. And now everybody like, think about like just wearing a hoodie now, like how streetwear is just kind of normal. Like you see little white girls walking around with hoodies and like Air Force Ones. That shit wasn't happening when we was in, not to like, 2017, 2018, when the whole world stage because kind of started being more like niggas.
Out.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like, these aren't black people's shoes. They're just shoes.
And now we all must be a part of this. When for a while it was just kind of looked down upon, like to really
also,
dress how like street niggas dress. Like it was.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like there's issues with that.
Really?
Like it's cool because you see the influence of like our culture just like permeate everything. But then you also still see like the hate for us. So it's a lot of the love our shit, but not us. Mm-hmm. So it's like...
We love all the things that you popularized. You told us where all the cool things are. You're just not cool.
Yeah. And so it's like kind of like a catch-22. It's like, we'll fuck with it. They'll take it and be like, oh, well, we did this. No.
No, like when they tried to say they did cornrows first. It's just like,
calling them boxer braids. They were calling them boxer braids.
Like, why are you
Let's not
hitting
do
us
that.
with sticks? Bad.
Listen,
Bad.
I'm not a big. I don't really care about a cultural appropriation. I don't think nothing is wrong with it. If you say where you got it from, and we could all share.
Oh, I don't
That's
think
not
that's
appropriation.
appropriation. See, appropriation is where you just steal it and lie.
It says
That's-
yours.
Yeah, that's why it's an issue.
No, because every time I see it, it's just like, oh, you're wearing braids. You're cultural. It's never like
Well, I think
I've said this
I feel
idea is mine.
they're
People have
misrepresenting
broadened
it.
up the
Yeah, they're
definition for what
broadening
it
it because
actually really
they're sensitive.
Okay.
But what it really is, it's taking from a culture and then not paying homage, not honoring, and saying, "Hey, this is where I got it from."
Good example, basketball player, Jeremy Lin. At one point in time, he would actually somehow manage to have cornrows inside of his head. But another basketball player gets really, really upset about it. It's just like, you steal our culture. It's just like, nah, dog, black people came up with this. Not really saying that Chinese people came up with cornrows. But I see in a very similar thing that you have Chinese writing on your body. You have a Chinese writing on your body. You're not saying that black people came up with the Chinese language. You just really like it, fucked with it. Thus, you wanted it on your body. Same thing with my hair.
Mm.
Yeah, for like, if you give credit, I have no issue. Like, I feel like definitely there should be like a sharing and like
A sharing of
like
ideas.
guarding of culture. I don't think that's what I would like. I want
Yeah, because
everybody to
that's what
freely.
it seemed like for me. Just
Oh yeah, no,
looking
no,
at
no,
people
no.
just mad because somebody had cornrows or whatever the fuck, whatever what they wanted to be mad about that day. And I'm like, well, how are you supposed to learn from each other? Some of that shit is cool. Like, I love samurais. I'm always love samurais, and I'm always love Japanese artwork. I can't dibble dabble. I can't put a dragon somewhere on my body. I can't.
They be
do
mad
this.
at me.
Oh my
shit.
god!
But also, it's weird because Japanese, Chinese, and everywhere else treat cultural appropriation completely and totally differently. Like in Japan, if you take inspiration and you use someone else's idea inside of some way, shape, or form, they're wildly flattered.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, oh, you thought my idea was good enough to the point where you used it on your own stuff? That's great.
Yeah, no, I don't
That's the
know.
reason why, like, people with Soda Jump or stuff like that don't really have any issues, because it's just like, this is literally just this. You thought my idea was good enough to steal the entire idea? Cool. That's just vindication of me.
You know, I have no issue with cultural appropriation. If you're like, well, I guess I have an issue with cultural appropriation because that's the stealing of culture and not saying anything. But if you're just doing something and you're like, no, I got this
Completely
from
totally
here.
transparent about the inspiration of it.
That's like Adele had Bantu knots in her hair. She said that she got it from Jamaica, was in Jamaica when she was doing it and everything like that. So I ain't got no issue with it.
Paid a Jamaican person
She
to do it.
also came back and said, hey, I'm never doing that again. That shit fucked my hair up. That ain't for me. So I can respect both. Like, she did it. I had no issue with it. But then she was also real enough to say, hey, maybe that's not for my type of hair. Like, my head shouldn't have been
I was
doing
down
that.
there with Rich, and he's
Oh, no, that
just
was
like,
before Rich Paul, I believe.
oh, he was probably just down there said, whoever you were with, go ahead, do it.
I think she might have been dating Gigs at the time. Because she went from Gigs to, not Gigs, Skepta. There it is.
Oh,
But she likes her black men.
I understand.
Yeah.
we're pretty great.
I understand.
You know what else is pretty great? Microdosing.
What is it?
All right, so microdosing is taking 1/10 of what a regular dose of a psychedelic would be.
What do I need an opinion of this?
So it's not like you would like really feel it
Yeah.
or
You're not
Like-
going whole hog into it.
or be able to tell, but it's like more of allowing like a gradual like expansion of like thought and shit like that. Because you do it like daily or almost daily.
My brain's pretty far out there to begin with. I'm good.
I mean, there's scientific benefits of it.
Oh no, I'm not saying that this is particularly wrong. I'm just saying I'm good. Never said everybody else shouldn't do it.
You don't do nothing, Charles.
You know, he be.
I'm pretty straight edged.
You know what? Let's start celebrating straight edgeness around this bitch.
Oh,
Nah,
I am.
nigga. All I know is you better outlive me.
Oh. I mean,
That's all I gotta say. This nigga don't want to escort. This nigga don't want to take no drugs.
You know what?
This nigga don't want to pop no Molly. He don't want to take no ecstasy.
No escort.
This nigga don't want to smoke. Nigga, all you do is sip a little bit.
I drink.
Yeah, that's what I said. The end.
I probably Nigga, you can legalize weed and I probably wouldn't smoke it, honestly.
I know. You don't do nothing, nigga.
I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
honestly,
You
I
better-
haven't really you're right. I don't even drink that much anymore because
You better outlive me. That's what I'm saying. That's it. Because if
I'll
you
take care of the
don't,
company after I'll live
nigga,
you.
I'm walking down the aisle like Chef, and I got things to say. This nigga didn't do shit
Oh no.
ever.
Now that you say that, I'm gonna fake my entire funeral.
This nigga didn't do
I will be one of them
shit.
niggas who say it's just like Charles has died. Oh look, Charles died. I'm gonna tell my family don't put it in the paperwork. I want to be there for my entire thing. Like Charles is so lifelike. He gonna walk down there. This nigga didn't do shit. I'm gonna jump out the coffin and jump on your back. And he be like, "What you say, nigga?"
Hey, I been told you.
What?
I'll be like, no, because then I'm turning around. You got the key to immortality, and now you're never gonna be able to convince me that you don't. And now you're gonna have that problem for the rest of your life. I'm gonna be busting down your door. Tell me how you came back to life. And you're gonna be like, it was a joke. Mm-mm.
All right, I went to this dude named Vlad in Transylvania.
And then no, I'm making you take me.
He lives on the
Let's
top of his
go.
bar. I'm not running this back, boy.
Yes,
dude.
yeah, you are. Or you gonna be in the pit because you immortal. So we got nothing but the time until I die. So you'll get bored of here, and then if I die, you'll be like a dog that they left in the cage, and then his owner left in the cage. You just gonna be stuck down there forever. You know, I don't know why I was thinking about that the other day. I was driving home and I was like, Dad, it'd be terrible if I put Kite in the cage and then something just happened to me and then no one just goes to my house and now this nigga just stuck
You
in the
leave your
fucking
front door
cage.
open. I would not. It's just like, well,
But like, what if y'all didn't know anything happened? Like, no one knew something happened to me and now this nigga is just stuck in the cage. and
okay,
just-
I'm gonna walk in here I'm gonna walk in wherever we are the next week and be like, well, I see Tony at least 3 to 4 times a week, and this dude had not been here for 4 days.
yeah,
Is
like
he-
that shit would be
I'm
so.
gonna call your mama, and it's like if she had it, it's just like, well,
That'd be so terrible. Like he be stuck in that cage, all starving, and then having the shit in like the corner, and then it'd be filled with. My mind just went all kinds of just like all the way out. I don't know why.
it's just like
I was just driving. Did I tell you I got hit by a deer?
it's about that time.
Nigga, yeah, I was driving and one of them
You got your car mostly paid off.
passed through, slammed on the brakes. He made it through, and then the other one
Decided to be a fucking asshole.
was
Right in this-
going with him, and like I couldn't stop fast enough, and he didn't veer quick enough, so he hit the side of my car, bounced off, and then it continued on.
It fucked up your car enough to the point where you probably got to get it fixed or something.
Nigga, he dented the door. He cracked the casing of my I don't know what
Wheel
the
well?
door window is called.
Oh.
Door mirror is called.
Oh, the door mirror.
Yeah.
It's just your side mirrors.
Here we go. Yeah, he cracked the entire casing of my side mirror. So
I know deers are destructive. My parents have had like 2 Honda Odysseys of damn near the same make and model. The first one got totaled by a deer.
oh yeah, no, I know. If you hit a deer for real, like you could total your car. So I
No,
know
this
that I
nigga
was
did this shit on purpose. I know this is nefarious, but he came in. It wasn't like
You said the deer
it
did
wasn't
it
like
on
they ran into a
purpose?
deer. The deer ran up and ran into their car directly.
Damn.
It's like he had problems with it. These jerks are doing this shit on purpose. We are cutting down their forest and they're coming back. They coming out here and they got hitters. You happy? You better be happy you feed the motherfuckers out front. And one day, like you gonna not feed, you gonna
did it on
leave.
purpose. This nigga bad.
It's
You,
bad as fuck.
you're
Look at
gonna
his
leave.
finger.
Your mom's
It's
gonna forget to
wagging.
feed them, and it's just like Tony. The deers just fucked up both of our cars. They gonna be out there blasting fucking you, no problems with my freaking Chance the Rapper. It's just
Bruh.
like, where'd they get the boob out? Yo, what no problems? What no problems?
What happened to Chance? Do he make music still?
Chance the Rapper?
He is
He's
a part
still
of a
between, don't he?
collective, and probably not because he's really wealthy and he's happily married. So it's just like, what you doing? I made that I'm Happy I'm Married album and y'all niggas didn't fuck with it. So that means as of this point, y'all don't fuck with happiness.
We do, but that shit was terrible.
So
Pharrell made an album called Happy, and it was pretty good. This wasn't.
y'all fuck with happily married niggas. Y'all want two-timers like Future who can't really rap.
You didn't rap
Future-
very well on this album either.
Oh, I'm still a better rapper than he is.
Probably not, actually.
Damn.
I mean, Future
Damn.
is a product of the Dungeon family, if we're going to be honest.
Damn.
So that's Andre 3000 and Big Boy Prodigy.
I understand that.
Okay, so as long as we know where
It's still damn.
Future really
I have
comes
not
from, like
seen-
what he
I have
does and where he comes from,
I'm
wildly
just not saying
disparate.
Future unless Future's just cuts loose one day and says, everyone says I can't rap. He just gonna come out
You
of
don't
nowhere.
give a
with
fuck about that. Future got signed to like a NBA football player style contract for like a couple, like tens of millions of dollars. It's like the 20s, 30s, 40 millions of dollars.
His production don't matter as of this point. He can
Wait,
do
because it
nothing.
was him and L.A. Reid. And he, before that, it was Astronaut, Space, Pluto, and then what the fuck? Oh, okay. And then, so yeah. So now he turned up on all of that and became who he is now. But yeah, no, he talks about the contract. Like he good. And so, you know, that's what his thing. He's like, I'm going to get the bag. But no, he's a product of Dungeon family. Like that's where he's from. He's related to all of them and like grew up inside of like that household and that camp. So like he's really like musically inclined, but not about to.
Not inclined to put in maximum.
You know who
amounts
else
of
is a
effort.
really good rapper that doesn't rap? Lil Uzi.
Believe it when I see it.
Lil Uzi's, you can hear him doing a little bit of it on him and Meek Mill's song where they're both going back and forth rapping, but he is a real Philadelphia spitter, like Beans, Freeway. Like he has real bars. That is not what makes money. So
no one can beat Black Thought.
So
anyway.
fuck that. So he's like, I'm not doing that. He's like, what gets me paid is this. So there's some people inside the industry that are like not looked at
That's
as like that.
Terribly a cynical way of looking at music. But
I mean, when we don't own it all,
we have veered off of microdosing a whole lot.
they all probably microdose.
I forgot the topic. I'm like, oh shit.
You're right.
Do you want to you wouldn't microdose, Charles?
No, I'm not interested. My brain's
No.
weird enough.
What about you, Ash? What are your opinions on it?
I don't think I need to microdose. Maybe later in life, but right now, I don't know. Maybe I get a shot. I don't want to become too dependent on anything. That's my thing. Like, I don't want to become dependent on it. I feel like whatever microdosing or shrooms, like I said, it's cool to get the help every once in a while, but I don't like being dependent on shit for real. I don't want nothing, or I try to at least keep that to a bare minimum. Like, I'm under the personal guise of like, I know a lot of people do drugs because I feel like it bring out a lot of inspiration in them and what have you, but it's like, well, those same things are in you. It's just that you don't know how to bring it out yourself without that tool constantly being something, a crutch for you to.
Your method of cultivation is probably a bit flawed.
Right. But like I said, I get it. I understand why you would think that you need this, but to need it all the time is just kind of doing yourself a disservice to say like, you're not that powerful enough to master yourself. And I don't really want that all the time.
Oh,
And I get it. It worked for people who say they're depressed and they start taking it. Think about it. Them cacao leaves that they used to shove in the side of their mouths and shit like that while they was working. I get that. I get what the whole process is supposed to be for. But for me, it's cool every once in a while when I really want that escape. When I want to really just like take a whole day to myself and escape like that. But every day, I'm not a big fan of. Maybe later in life or something. Maybe one day I'll just start smoking like Tony smoked. I don't fucking know. I might change my mind. Because I love shrooms.
The only thing that I was pitched is that if while you're riding or something like that, it might be all right to get a little bit tipsy because that reduces your inhibitions and your likelihood of saying this is absolutely terrible trash kind of goes a bit down for people who get stuck or kind of like are hyper self-critical, that may help out a bit, but that's probably my biggest issue. So I don't really need expansion of my mind. I have ideas. It's just more so expanding my mindset is just like, I need new dimensions. No, I already play like 4D chess in my head half the time anyway.
This nigga said, did he just compare dimensions to 4D chess? You a fucking...
It's just
I'm mad at you for that one.
It's not 3D chess. I plan to...
Did you just compare...
I'm up here moving things in different places.
And getting to know yourself to 4D chess. You sure fucking did. You said it like it was comparing apples to oranges. Nigga, that is not the same thing. To you, it might be because you downplay it a lot, but that is not what's going on here.
I don't take psychedelics. I'm not out here. It's just like, I want to know my deeper self. Oh, I'm a pretty cool guy. That means that guy's pretty cool too. It's just like,
no, that's not how any of this works.
It does for me.
No. That's how you choose to believe it. That's like saying that alcohol works a different way for you than it does for other people. No, I'm not saying that that's what you're saying, but that's what somebody else would say. Like, oh yeah, no, I can drink and it doesn't make me lose my sense of like motor skills. Okay, you're wrong, but
I've had people look me dead in my eye and say they drive better drunk.
They're wrong.
They wrong as fuck.
I'm a good drunk driver. Isn't me saying I'm drive better drunk. What I'm saying is when I've been drunk, normally the biggest things on my mind are, fuck, I'm drunk. Roll the windows down. Grab the steering with both hands. Watch the road. Don't speed.
It's just like focus on all the things.
Stay focused.
A lot of things that you naturally do, just don't do them.
Don't let your mind wander.
What you do, I'm fine.
Leave your phone alone. All right. But the first time I had a drunk drive was 2007. Yeah.
I just haven't.
No. So I drove to a Christmas party for my job. I was 18.
Yeah.
They got me drunk.
Why'd they let you leave?
Because they were drunk too.
You'll be all right.
Everybody with this bitch was drunk. Like this, like when I say Home Depot was like a high school back when I first got hired there, I literally mean this. Everybody was in their like early 20s. I was like the baby of the crew because I was 18. Everybody's 21 to 24, 25 years old at the max. And then you got the older crowd. But all of them is getting drunk and shit like that. And they acting like the younger people because they fighting over niggas and having relationships inside the place. So it's all a mess. So ain't nobody really like accountable or adulting on any level. So no, we all just getting smacked inside of this place and then all driving home in our vehicles. So I wasn't the only one drunk driving that night, but it was Tony's very first time drunk driving. I know that I was so drunk. All right, so I was terrified. So I make it home. I did my 10 and 2, windows down. Got to get off of 200th Street and make it to the Kane Park Apartments.
Oh my God. Well, it depended upon where you are on 200th Street.
It was by the Home Depot on there. The Euclid Home Depot. Yeah, so pretty deep inside of Euclid. So I make it home.
Whew.
But I know I was fucked up.
You had to go up that hill, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God! You got to get into Cleveland Heights, and there's no freeway ways of getting to Cleveland Heights. That's like one of the worst.
No, I drove the streets home, praying that I didn't get pulled over. Drunk as a bitch. I make it there. I reach for the doorknob to get into my room, and somehow my hand grabbed air, And I leaned forward, like I grabbed the door to open it. And I tumbled into the door and called my roommate, JB, help me. I can't open my door.
I grabbed air.
And that was the end all be all of it. It's just like, I had one shot at this. This opportunity only came once in a lifetime.
Yeah, and I missed it, and now I'm on the ground. I need help.
Walking like a fool with my pants on, with me on the ground.
And that started Tony's very
tumultuous,
unhealthy relationship with drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Tony recognized, like, looking back, I was like, you drink a lot. And, like, I had a healthier relationship than I could have had because, like, I was exposed to it early enough, so it wasn't, like, super fun to me. But I really, really enjoy the feeling of being drunk.
I do not.
Oh no, there's just not like sickly, like drunk, but like that point where you're like, you're just feeling good, like
I like to be buzzed,
like your libido start going up, like yeah, like your inhibitions is real low. You feel like it's whatever now. Shit, hard dick and low inhibitions is a good time or a bad time depending on who you are. But it's gonna be a night.
There's certain marquees of where I can tell I've been drinking too much, and it's just
no.
There are certain things like, all right.
No, Tony was like, no, this is where I'm at, and I need to feel like this all the time, and that is not healthy.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, so no, it wasn't that, hey, this is an unhealthy level of being drunk. It's the consistency of what you want to be at this level.
Also, by the way, all organ transplants count as death.
What?
Inside of our little thing, like I better die before you do. I better not die before you do. If you get any kind of organ transplants, you have to get any other.
No.
If there's any other extracurricular things that come in and save your life that you would normally be dead, that also counts.
No.
If you sit up here, if you walk in here like,
you want to know, Charles? You want to know why I don't care about that? Because if I have access to the medical advances, you do too. And so if your healthy ass still with medical advances couldn't outlive me, I don't know what the fuck you had, but damn it, you should have did everything else.
It's just like what happened. There was a random car accident where somebody just threw a car on top of his car while he was in it.
Yeah, he should have been drinking lean then. Like,
as you sit there like,
you've never had lean.
No, why the fuck would I drink cough syrup?
Ask AP about it.
Why are you putting other people's names out there?
AP?
Well, we know two of them, but they're. I'm not interested. It's just
and
like
just ask him about it. Just ask him about what he did.
I've sit there and looked at Jamarcus Russell, and it ruined his life.
Just ask him if he remembers it.
J. Russ,
because I think that'd be hilarious if he remembers.
I'm not. I leave. Nah, dude. There's none of these extracurriculars I need in my life.
Your friends we're out here doing stuff and trying things and living life a little bit.
I can live it. I'm fine. I don't actually. I don't care.
He started to say I could live it, and then he just reneged and said, I'm fine.
Well, no, I was originally going to say I could live vicariously through it. It's just like, wait, that would imply that I care enough to live it vicariously through anyone.
Yeah, I don't think he give a fuck. Like, it's not like he's like, oh, I've always been interested, and he keep talking to us about it. Like, what's that? No, and he always teeter-tottering on the edge looking over and then don't never do shit. He on the other side of the building going down the stairs like, I'm not doing this shit.
Oh, no, that's fine that you don't do it. That's why I said this nigga better live it longer than
me. Not with a particular
that's like for the most part, if I get in shape, it's just like you pretty much like live for the most outside of some amount of alcohol, which is not like a ridiculous amount. It's not like you sitting up here drinking enough to the point where your liver's sitting up there like, oh my God.
Well, for me, I just know I'm a sensationalist. Like I said, this year was a real hard look at Ash and her addiction to pleasure. And I love the sensations. I love seeing, where could this take me? My dumb ass don't need more of you. I don't need to see what any of this shit takes me sometimes. I need to just shut the fuck up and just chill. So I understand.
It's not even necessarily a level of self-control. It's just like a level of disinterestedness. Also, going to KIT like demystifies a lot of things because people are just willing to have conversations about a lot of bullshit. It's just like when you have like people in bondage gear parade down your esplanade, it like, yeah. Well, we had an entire club about random sexual kinks. Whole club about it.
Oh, really? Club
Yep.
where? What?
School club.
Oh.
Yep.
You keep saying you said school
College.
club, casually.
Club. Yeah. What's
I
your
don't
thing?
get it.
What do you mean?
Explain. So it was just a group of y'all talking about
No,
sexual
it was an
kinks?
actual. No, it was not just a random group. It is a sponsored Kent State club they got money from the school to talk about their entire thing. Was just they were Kent State kink. That was their thing.
That makes sense.
What did they do?
Talk about
They're all
kinks.
That's it?
It's probably about sexual education and not shaming and removing stigma. So that's probably how they academically got it passed. Is hey, we want to remove the stigma, shame, and
Things about
Like
and also make sure
negativity
they're
towards
doing
them.
these things safely because there are probably people doing these things on your premises, and it's just like what's probably not the best look when Josh chokes out Becky, and you just have like a dead body there, and it's just like.
but she
what we
liked the
doing?
asphyxiation play.
But
So
she's like, that's what she was into, and she said she wanted to
Nigga,
be a
it's
choker.
reasons why it's rules against this shit. Nigga, it's not.
There's no rules against choking someone who wants to be choked.
No, it's a reason why it's shameful, nigga. You're not really supposed to be choking niggas during sex. Assault shouldn't be happening during sex.
you should be choking.
That's what some people like.
Yeah, I get it, but they be taking what some people like and then making sure everybody knows
No,
about
it's not
it.
like they're super beat you over the head with it.
You 23
It's
years
not
old.
like
Get
they
the
were
fuck
sitting up
over
here
that
like,
shit.
but that's the reason
Funny.
why I know some things that I'd probably just be like, because we were sitting there and there was a chalk drawing of it, and for somehow the vice president was just sitting right next to us, and some dumbass decided, what's Kent State King? I'm glad you asked.
No. What the
And then
Anyway.
also one of my friends was a part of
fuck?
it,
Give a fuck.
and she was just like,
Have at it. Have at it, Kinksters.
and depending upon
It's so
who,
surprising that you're so like
No.
anti this.
that's a,
What do you need to know at 23 about that shit? What else? What? Could you go to school, please? Why did they give you money for that? That's
well,
what I'm annoyed with.
it's
Kinks
more
and all that other shit, I'm really well adept with. But the fact that you 23 get money for this, it's like,
Well, no, the
Why
club
not?
got
go
money.
read a math
'cause they-
book.
No, for what? That's not what school's about.
What is this? Oh, okay.
Well, no, it's about having an overall unilateral education. Now, was the school completely and totally happy about this club existing? Probably not.
That's
but
fucking strange. You
But
come here from
underneath
just
your own
regular.
charter and club charters, there is no reason because majority of the people inside of college are over 18. You're allowed to do a lot more things than if you were at in a high school. Like that would never fly at a high school, but at a college it's just like, oh, we're all consenting adults here. We'll make sure everybody's of age when they actually sign up for the club because we do have some underage people who actually go here, but at mostly everybody here is 18 or over.
And this further proves why the masculine presence is just ain't none. There's no focus. There's no putting the boundary. There's no clarification. What
Oh
masculine
no,
did you
clubs
do?
are specifically meant for entertainment. That's a part of college.
Do you understand what I'm saying? This
I understand
hedonism
what you're
is
saying.
what
The
I'm
lack
talking
of
about.
focus on the actual
and then
academic
letting this hedonism take over. You supposed to go to school so you can learn a vocation or whatever the fuck else and continue on
Jesus.
your career. All this extra shit.
Ash is arbitrarily judgy.
No,
she's
it's
so
just
upset
weird.
about this.
It's just like,
Yeah, like,
why
that's why it's like,
are you
this is
I brought
such a-
this up in conversation before, but we've never actually expounded on it.
Because
I
you're
guess
dumb at 23. What the fuck do you know? I can see if you carried this with you and after a while you're 25, 26, and 27, you just realize, oh, this shit ain't really going nowhere. Then you could probably learn.
people been choking people since freaking high school.
I'm not saying that it hasn't happened, but you also don't know really particularly yourself, and expressing that part of yourself and really delving into the world of kink at 23 is just funny as shit. Like, if you don't go read a book and with your weird ass, like, come on now.
Man. Ash.
Like I said,
Judgy.
Wow.
Some people saw that Janet Jackson nipple ring at the Super Bowl and had to figure some stuff out.
We all did that day, didn't we?
Nipple rings suck.
Not really.
I did. I just remember being in the kitchen eating my Super Bowl Sunday fucking delights. And these niggas in the fucking living room. Did you see that nigga? I'm like, what happened? Next day you go to school.
Janet Jackson's nipple. Oh, also apparently Tony has a hatred for nipple rings.
I mean, I don't hate them. They're just not as amazing as everybody makes them seem. Like, oh, she got nipple rings. That's cool. So if you suck her titty, you got copper in your mouth.
Could be silver.
And if you don't change them bitches, if you don't change them often, then you got all the residue of whoever else has nutted on those and sucked on them, just on them. Yeah, think about that. So, but that's what you want. You're right. Fucking talking about nipple rings and shit. Fuck.
I'm assuming everyone who does piercings does the required like piercing maintenance. I hope. Oh, well, that sounds like they don't.
You know people don't.
Dried up fucking cum.
Because you know you got them little crevices and everything, and when you wash it, you ain't really like cleaning it out and taking it out and changing like you're supposed to. They just leaving it in there. So shit's just building up on it. You got the nigga saliva all crusted. What?
That's gross.
Mm-hmm. And this is what we want me to celebrate? I'm sorry that this is how my mind works. Ew. This is just how Tony's brain works. But hey, you said it like it was a random weird thing. So let me explain why.
No, it's not really random.
Now y'all know.
Like, it is your dislike. I am not going to critique someone's dislike of something completely, totally arbitrary and like.
It's not arbitrary. It's a very logical reason why I'm not
arbitrary
and
superfluous in terms of the people that you're dealing with. It's just like, I got a nipple ring. Okay.
No, I'm gonna get you new ones.
You only wear these are only Tony nipple.
Not even only Tony rings. It's just I know that these bitches are new.
I can trust myself. I can trust them.
Going forward, there.
But
this is where we start off at.
Better not come back after cheating on me and then be like, well, blah, 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 blah. Tony gets cheated on by this woman. It's probably not the fact that like, yo, did he jizz on your chest?
No, that's not what I'm asking.
That's fucking weird.
Like, what do you mean?
I mean,
did you sleep with me and then let him jizz on your chest?
He said fucking come on your chest.
Like, what? Aren't you worried about the fact that I cheated on you? No. First things first. I was licking your nipples yesterday, and did this happen?
Nah, I wouldn't ask questions. I know how my mind is. It's just then it's gonna be crazy, and now it's gonna be confirmed, and then I'm never gonna not be able to think about it. Like,
so why? So there's just lines that you aren't willing to cross for your own sanity.
For what? Yeah,
it's like I don't want to know.
You cheated, cool.
Bye.
Get out. That's having a conversation about what you did.
Cool.
Is it gonna make me feel better?
Yeah, that's weird.
Like, y'all fuck. Y'all did something sexual, right? I don't need to know the particulars. Like, I don't need to know if it was head or not, because like I'm gonna feel real bad if it's head, and I'm gonna want to hurt you, especially if you cheated, gave him head, and it's been like an ongoing thing, and you've been kissing me in the mouth. I'll push you down the stairs, bitch.
y'all about a hatred is like.
I don't hate you. I feel no hate for you.
I love you.
I don't do that either.
So you're not baby king, but you're not like normal Tony. Is like I love who you are as a person.
No, who you are as a person is
you
fucked up.
You officially exist inside a neutral night.
Who you are as a person is a really fucked up person.
You need to work on that.
Hating you will require me to expend extraneous energy when you're not around, thinking about you, being upset at the mention of you. You don't get that type of energy from me. But you also got to get pushed down these stairs because who you playing with?
This is a principle thing.
Yeah, why are you playing games with me? Like,
I don't want to think about coming on nobody's titties no more. Can we move on?
Yeah.
How do you feel about microdosing, nigga?
I'm with it. I was thinking about doing it in like a year and a half.
Yeah.
I would do it now, but I got shit to do. And not even that I got shit to do.
Aren't you supposed to be able to remain functional while doing this?
I want to not have a job while I'm doing it and be able to like live life.
Yeah, that's the only time I could see myself really doing it. Because like I said, I don't need it because I don't feel like... I know a lot of people that say they're taking it. It's kind of like an alternative to antidepressants and shit like that. That's the only time I've ever seen it. And they're saying like, yeah, my life has changed, which I can 100% get behind. Like even taking supplements. I think I take supplements on most nights to help me sleep. and it's 5-HTP is B complex and magnesium. Those are the top 3 I take every night. So I guess that wouldn't be. I don't know if that's quite as different, but I guess the procedure is the same.
Oh, the feds gonna start showing up and busting these people because, like, what you think you're doing? Happiness?
You always think the law about to come down on somebody.
Oh,
Damn.
They're petty and banal for the most time and don't have better things to do.
Damn, you ever think you could deal with like a woman that was pretty wild, Charles, or nah? You need her to be like pretty baseline like you for you to have some sort of sanity.
It's a very odd thing and a very odd line because, like, it seems I might be forcing the more vanilla thing because it's just like the thing about all the vanilla people is just like y'all are just so boring. And then I'll be out here trying to have conversations with them. It's just like, so do you ever actually do anything that is interesting? No. Maybe my lines are completely and totally like all fucked up because the people that I'm always around are always doing anything and I'm the normal baseline. And it's just like, and not me looking at talking to some other girl who's fairly normal is just like, what do you do for fun? I don't really have any hobbies. How don't you have any hobbies?
I would think I'm like that because I wonder sometimes, are they gonna like drive you up a fucking cliff? Like, what did you do?
It's just like,
why are you doing those things?
Well, it's just like,
why did you do that? I'm trying to think like, dang, do we need somebody that's like, yeah, I definitely believe in the COVID vaccine, or do we need somebody that's like, nah, I'm gonna lick this grass and hope for the best?
I'm going to need someone who has a reasonable bounding in scientific like things.
Okay.
It's just like, that's one thing I do need. It's just like, I need you to have a reasonable grasp of science. Like, because my sister still haven't taken the COVID vaccine. I think I said.
What if they microdose and they use these? These are all scholarly articles from colleges and things like that.
I understand. I'm not saying.
No, I'm asking, like, would you date someone like that?
I mean, if they probably been microdosing the entire time that I've been dating him, so why would I care?
What if they said this is a journey they want to start?
I mean,
why his face rolled up like that? He immediately was like, "Well, bitch, why you want to start?
Why you changing things?
At that point, it's just like, my question is, why do you want to start this journey? How is this going to affect you, and how is this going to change things moving forward? Once we check those 3 things off, and I'm like, if I'm fine with dealing with all the
that's the thing. I'll be like, damn, he need to know a lot of information before he's comfortable with this.
I like to have information before
but when
I'm
you just be doing shit,
anything.
Sometimes you just be like, well,
no, I don't just do things.
I'm just saying.
You should know this about me.
No, I know.
That's why I just said. That's why I had to yell at him earlier.
Like, what are you talking about? It's like, well,
you want this is in action.
To call this nigga
because he likes to just plop things in the middle of people's lap. It's just like, what do you mean? This is what we're? No, this has nothing to do with anything. No, of course, all these things. Blah blah blah. We change this. This is like. Well, yeah, if we change everything, yeah, it's fine. If we change the way we do things, yeah, it's fine. But just say, I want this, and then like changing, then just putting the show in there. Well, that doesn't work at all.
Because I expect you to make the logical leaps.
See, I be making logical leaps, and then people look at me and say, I didn't know that. And that's not an acceptable answer when people request that I make logical leaps.
I'm surprised.
It's just
y'all
like,
niggas ain't really fought yet.
I get legit. There was a point in my life where I got legitimately upset with people. Well, I didn't know that. What the fuck you mean? Like, you just pop this inside the middle of my lap and say, I'm assuming that you thought everything out.
I did.
It's just like, and that's the weird thing. People put things inside my lap and they don't think them all the way out. And then
stop treating me like I'm people.
It's just like,
how about that?
Because I've had people, it's just like, I'm going to go out and buy a car. Yada, yada, yada. I didn't know this was going to increase the amount of gas that I had to get. What the fuck you mean? Is that not the first thing that you should be checking out when you're pricing these things? If you can actually afford the week with your actual leasing agreement or whatever purchase agreement that you have, you can afford to put gas inside the car that you just bought.
Maybe.
If that's not one of the very first things you're evaluating, you are wrong.
Charles, all I know is you needed a lot of information and we had to argue.
You
But
need a lot of
we argue-
information,
yes,
a lot of
but
information.
I feel like that's good because me and
Yeah.
Charles argue all the time.
we argue all the time, but it's not like it's not that I was at the end of the argument once you assuaged all my actual questions. It's like, well,
So yeah, because you just like,
Yeah.
because for me it's like, nigga, I have all the answers. It has to be dumb shit. Of course I have all the answers. Of course I know exactly how this is going to be executed perfectly.
no one and no one fills in those things, and then I be out here. It's the reason
that's
why I
why
don't
I
like
be
group
mad.
projects. Is like I tell people to go do things. It's just. Or they say they can do them, and then they come back to me and say, I don't know how to do this. Well, why would you request this part of the group project? So
See,
for me,
both
working in a
y'all-
group is a very foreign thing.
I appreciate your steadfast and prudence, and I appreciate your spontaneity and passion. But both these niggas get on my nerves because this nigga want to go fast and he want to go slow down, and they don't want to find the middle ground of nowhere. I'm like, y'all still arguing about this? Okay.
Well,
I appreciate both of y'all coming
we
together.
agreed to go forward with the camera thing and the green
They had
screen.
a lot to get to that fucking point. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, like I said, it's kind of amazing. Y'all ain't really choked each other out yet.
Me and him literally the last show we did for Sam's
We had an
Club.
entire argument
Fight.
about the silk side.
We argued about Ben Simmons and the 76ers in the beginning of the show.
Mhm.
Talked about anime comedy because we both like mostly the same things, and then argued about Silk Sonic.
Like Tony
For the-
hates the album, and
Yeah,
it's
the
just like,
album
what
is
the fuck
trash.
is wrong with you? This sounds immaculate.
It
This
is-
is clean. Them drums are great. Listen to these smooth ass guitar riffs. It's just like, oh, this shit's derivative.
Yeah,
It's just like everything is derived from something, Tony.
yeah. So we argue about that. I'm not gonna rehash it because there's no point.
Oh, we gotta get to ask this topic at
Yeah,
some point.
yeah,
because
let's-
it's 11:25.
Let's go ahead and slide
It
over
sure
to
is.
ashes.
We're gonna
Sure.
take this. We gonna take a break.
If it's up to Ash, how you feeling?
You can take a break.
Okay, we'll be back. Oh, we're back.
It's back to me, guys. Since they just released that new variant. What's it called?
Omniron.
What is
Omniron. Omniron.
Omniron
Oh, what?
variant.
The Mayan variant of COVID.
Yeah.
Anyway, so with all these changes that's going on with shipping issues, prices and everything, new variants, where y'all think we going? Positive, negative? Think COVID's here to stay? What's going on?
Well,
Think
COVID.
niggas- think niggas should start prepping because we don't know what the fuck going on outside.
Oh no,
These
COVID
little
from this point
streets?
forward is probably going to get put into the regular flu shot.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think we're permanently gotten rid of it. Just like I don't think swine. We ever completely and totally got rid of swine flu, bird
H1N1.
flu, H1N1. Like diseases don't go away completely.
Mm-hmm.
They just have this heavily infectious phase, and then it kind of just gets normalized. Now we have like this really bad version of the flu that's going to exist, and it's going to be folded into the regular flu shots that you can get from, I don't know, the Mark's Pharmacy or CVS or whatever.
You don't think that people are going to start treating people like second-class citizens if they don't get vaccinated, or is this just the hype now? And then after you start seeing people started to see, like what you're saying, get to the point where it's the flu, kind of like a super form of the flu. Now it's like, oh, well, you got it, you don't.
Well, I mean, a lot of people still do get their flu shots, and a lot of people have different immune things. But, I mean, what it pretty much comes down to is that if you're sick, stay the fuck home.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be getting other people sick. And as long as people maintain that, at least that level of respect for other people and in public spaces, everything should be cool. But
I think that it continue to have a stigma for a while because of the variants, and that's a justification of if y'all would just get the shot, then new variants
there
would
won't
stop
be no
posting up,
variants.
and so they'll always have that to like go to and be mad about. It's like we could have a completely normal life if y'all would just do this, and there'd be no more variants and things like that.
Right. Which is, I'm not saying that it don't exist, but I've never seen, I don't know if the flu virus had different variants or started evolving and from forming to different things, but they never made a big deal out of those things. Like I said, I've been a child a lot. So now I'm just now getting into more adulty things on the
There
news,
are-
but they never
the-
make big deals about those things. So I
the-
wonder about what this one is so different.
The flu shot is it changes frequently to include the random variations of the flu.
Yeah, they never talk about that.
I mean, they do, but most people don't really. I mean, they say the flu immunization has changed
Yeah, but you see how it's just like
because people don't really care as much
it's just like
because
this thing.
it's already like the entire vernac, but it's also like this is the first major contamination that we've had with a 24-hour news cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And a 24-hour news cycle is also like a bane to the entire world's existence, and it should end. For real. We don't need the news for 24 hours. We just
This is
don't.
true.
Like the only time that we would normally do the news for 24 hours is with election season. And honestly, I think like we can probably not even do it for that. We can wait till figure out till the next morning like the entire rest of the world. Because you know the funny thing about most things? We don't know most of them till the next morning anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just like they're counting. It is increased by 1%. And Joe Biden he needs 350 million more votes and he just got 300,000, Jeff. How do you feel about that? Well, until the rest of these things get counted, we don't really know what's going to happen. So you basically giving us nothing here, Jeff. Yep, gave you nothing. But we gave you nothing that made us money. Go to commercial. Mucinex PM gives you, it'll kill your mucus problems. Yep. And that is the 24-hour news cycle, and it's terrible. So
It's absolutely terrible. And I don't know, something just, like I said, I've never been 100% with what this COVID thing is going on. I think it's a lot of shenanigans, to be honest with you. I'm not saying that the disease ain't real or whatever, but
I think that it's just life. Like we called it a pandemic, but it's life. Like,
this ain't really new.
I guess
not a methods is though. Fuck that.
Well, the methods aren't really new. We did the same thing with the Spanish flu, but most people weren't. Most people haven't been alive for when something like this happens.
So it's new. Fuck that. It's new. I don't give a fuck when it happened. It's due now. I've never experienced. It's due to be. It's due to a lot of people that are alive at this point in time.
Like polio happened.
I guess my thought process is it's new, but it's life in the sense that a majority of the things that you do or go along with are things that you've just been told to do and accept it. It's like the way things are. Going to get your license, paying registration for a car, paying taxes. So it's realistically just like another thing of life that they've now newly instituted. So I guess that's why I say it's just life. It's like niggas stirred up a lot of fear. And when you want people to do something, the best way to get them to do it is make people afraid. And now that everybody that was going to be afraid has gotten it, they have switched their tactic to being more of a restriction based. If you don't have it, there's certain things that you're just going to have to opt out of. And I feel like if you're okay with that, then
Cool.
that's fine and don't get it. And if you aren't okay with that, then you will have to get it. And it's generally one of those two options. Like, I don't think there's...
Like, I don't think you're going to be able to travel to any member of the European Union or any Asian country anytime soon if you don't have this vaccine.
Oh, no, I don't even care about that. I was going to say, like, I don't think that anybody is really out here doing, like, empirical research on, like, the virus or, like, alternative vaccination methods or alternative, like, prevention methods that is a, like, avid non-vaxxer.
Oh.
And so if
So-
you as a regular person don't have access and aren't really doing those things, and all you are pointing to is like other people talking about it on like Google. I mean, that don't really count. That don't qualify for much. And since it don't qualify for much, I feel like you kind of just gotta either let that go and just say, hey, I've made a personal choice that I'm not gonna take it, and it's not about the research because I can't go out and do the research. And I mean, that's fair. You don't have to take it. I don't think that if you don't want to take it, you should. I just don't think that like making all these like superfluous like statements
Arguments.
of, yeah, like, oh no, I'm waiting for the research. I'm doing my own research. Nigga, how?
Yeah.
Are you Googling? So you Googling and then
research.
taking the opinion of other people that you agree with and discounting the people that you don't agree with. That's not research.
Are you collecting samples? Well, no.
So
Are you running lab tests or something? Oh, no. I'm just going about how I feel. Well, that's not really much research at all. And if you're just going about how you feel at this point, there's no real argument that can be made to make you do anything.
And I feel like if you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. But I think that the world is going to slowly get back to a better sense of like ports being open and shit like that. Probably the middle half of next year. And the next year. I don't think that anyone who thought that this year was going to be the year that things were going to be like a noticeable change and like a step forward. I think they were just a little too optimistic.
We had a whole damn year of COVID.
We've had more than a year of COVID. It started in December 2019. So December 2020 was 1 year, and so it's about to be 2.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Even though, like, oh my God.
Like how he said, like,
This
he
is
just woke
like
up
being
yesterday.
trapped inside of the worst time machine ever. Imagine you going in a time machine where you experienced every day.
Yeah. That's what happened. Why are you mad at that?
I'm not necessarily mad about it. I mean, for overall, honestly, we've been fairly productive about things. But most people haven't. Oh, people about to start looking at the housing collapse of 2022. Because it's coming. Property gonna be super cheap. Be on the come up like Dan Gilbert and everybody else.
I wonder why they buying it up so fast then now. Maybe they just don't know. But no, when I was looking for apartments with my friend, not apartments, houses, that was hard as fuck. Every time we look, somebody's putting an offer. So I'm just like,
Well,
jeez.
there's a group of people who actually have the money, who are waiting and are realizing that the prices aren't going to get any cheaper anytime soon. That means it requires a higher degree of patience.
Well, it's not even that. It's, you have people who have money. Then you also have the Fed, who is keeping interest rates low.
Which makes it pretty cheap to borrow.
Yep. So as long as it's cheap to borrow, regardless of the supply of houses coming on the market, people are going to continue to purchase them. So the prices aren't going to go down. Not in like any like crash type of sense. There might be like a correction, but that's only like 10%. A crash is 20. So you might see a 10%, but
I mean, I would appreciate seeing 16,000 off of a price of 1,600. That puts it inside of a whole other pricing tier. So that's reasonable. But
I mean,
don't know.
yeah. I don't know. I think that people are going to stop talking about it.
What? I mean, we've had a
COVID is a
hot button topic.
yeah, And the news has figured out a way to turn it into like politics. And so I think that
it became very politicky at things because things became very clear about one side's against it, one side's for it, and thus then politics become permeated because it becomes this side against another side, not the most logical, not thinking about this. These are the things that are the most logical for the entire country.
yeah, fuck the country.
My individual politics.
Well, on
wrong.
that note, I don't have shit else to say.
It's just like, what do you think? The other side thinks this, so I think this. That's your only justification for that? Fuck yeah.
And fuck the club up.
Where the hood at?
But yeah. I don't know.
Oh,
I think that the world is going to be a very...
interesting place.
Yeah. I was like, oh, the world's going to end. And then I had an epiphany that probably everybody thinks that their generation is like, oh, watching the world just like go to shit. And probably things are cool. And I got to say fuck that and get back to being like on my shit and focus.
Take advantage of all the people who are sitting here like the world is ending.
Yep.
All right, y'all sit here and look like Macaulay Culkin. What'd you do? Bought a house.
Yeah, so I was like, I got to just be focused on things.
Because if you can get if you can actually get a non-variable rate mortgage right now,
Yeah.
even if you buy a little bit over the market that you normally would have bought, interest rates are so fucking low to the point where it's just like, what does it really matter if the interest rate, if you're buying a little bit of open? Okay, well, with that, I think it's time for us to hit this good old dusty trail. It's a little bit warm down here.
All right, sir.
Never wearing a long sleeve shirt down here again.
You could have closed the vent behind you.
I didn't realize it was open. All right, well, I'm just Charles.
Yeah, I'm Tony.
And she's Ashley Shack.
Yeah, she's pointing.
Is that my whole fucking name?
I was Zero Cool.
Yeah, he
Fuck it.
crazy.
Fuck you.
Yeah.